Hello, love, and welcome to another episode of It's Lemur Time. I want you to know before anything else, you are seen. You are so deeply seen, especially if you've ever felt trapped or lost in a relationship that weighs heavy on your heart. Toxic relationships aren't just about what others do to us. They're about what happens inside of us when the love we crave turns into a place of pain and confusion. And if you're here today listening, maybe you're tired. Maybe your heart hurts. Maybe you're feeling like you've lost yourself. And I want you to hold on to this truth. You are not alone. And your pain is valid. Today, we'll gently explore how to recognize the red flags that you deserve to see and how to protect your precious heart with a fierce kindness. So first we have to ask ourselves, what does toxicity feel like? Toxicity doesn't always mean shouting. Sometimes it's the whispers. It lives in this small, painful moments that add up, those little cuts that eventually bleed deep. It's the exhaustion that comes from constantly walking on eggshells, from bending yourself into shapes that don't feel like you, just to keep the peace. It's when you start to doubt your own feelings because someone else's words have echoed so loud. It's the ache of feeling unseen even when you're right there. Maybe it's the moments when your voice was quieted, your boundaries ignored, or your worth questioned. Maybe you've stayed silent because you hoped love would change it all. Or maybe it's just because you told yourself that you deserved this pain. I want you to breathe that in and then breathe out the lie. You do not deserve to be diminished. You do not deserve to be made small. You deserve peace. You deserve love that feels like home. I'm going to name some red flags that might feel uncomfortable to hear, because recognizing them is both painful and freeing. You have gaslighting. Gaslighting is when your reality is denied so often that you question your own sanity. If you find yourself apologizing for your feelings or doubting your memories, know that your truth matters. There's emotional neglect. That's when your pain is ignored or minimized. It's as if your suffering is somehow inconvenient. You deserve to be held, not pushed away. You have manipulation and control. That's when the guilt or the fear is used as a leash to keep you bound. And honey, that's not love. Love never traps you. There's disrespect and dismissal. That's when your thoughts or your dreams or your boundaries are so belittled and ignored that your voice is lost. And I want you to know that your voice is sacred. Don't let anyone silence it. And you have one-sidedness when you're always the giver and yet never the receiver. It's not balance, that's burnout. Hearing these truths can hurt, I know, but hearing them is the first step towards freeing yourself. That's the moment that you say, I see you, toxic patterns, and I am choosing something better. Protecting yourself isn't cold or cruel. It's one of the bravest, most loving acts that you can commit to yourself. Setting boundaries is saying, I matter. It's saying no to the harm, no to the disrespect, and yes to your peace. Start small. Maybe it's simply silencing your phone when you need rest. Maybe it's gently telling someone when they've crossed a line. It can be stepping away from a relationship that no longer serves your growth. And please, please forgive yourself if you've stayed too long, way longer than you should have. You stayed because you hoped for love, because you wanted to believe in something better, because you are human and healing is a process. Self-protection means loving yourself enough to choose healing even when it hurts. I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to share with you the story of when I chose me. There was a time I was living inside of a relationship that it slowly started to drain my light. I told myself that I could fix it, that love was supposed to hurt a little bit. But the truth was, I was losing pieces of myself every single day, like a puzzle piece would be missing from my soul. My joy, my laughter, my voice, all missing pieces of me. And one day I looked in the mirror and I couldn't even recognize the person staring back at me. That's the day I chose me. Not because I stopped caring, but because I finally cared enough to protect my soul. It was so terrifying and I was so heartbroken, but it was the beginning of my healing. And I want you to know that you can choose that too. You are also worthy of that kind of love, the love you give yourself. So let's pause one last moment, and I want you to close your eyes. Take a deep breath slowly in and exhale. I want you to ask yourself gently, where in my life am I heading in silence? What boundaries can I start to set today, even in the smallest ways? How can I show myself the kindness I have been craving? Your heart is brave for asking these questions. You are worthy of healing and you are worthy of peace. And above all, you are worthy of the love that lifts you up. Thank you for holding space with me today. Remember, walking away or setting boundaries isn't a weakness. It's the bravest act of love that you can give yourself. You are not broken. You are healing. And healing is a journey worth every step. Be gentle with yourself today and every day. You deserve that kindness, most of all from you. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with someone who needs it. And don't forget, Lemur Time drops every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube and on Spotify. Stay rooted, stay kind, and remember, I'm proud of you. I'll see you next time.